Hey everyone. So, time for another book review. I've been working my way through, I basically got through all the Dungeon Crawler Carl books I got. So, I decided to go back to a series that I'd started reading earlier this year. You guys haven't seen a review for any of those books because I read it before I started doing these reviews. But I'm currently working on books 6 and 7 of the Throne of Glass series. So, you guys are going to get my thoughts on the first 5 books while I'm working my way through that dual read. So we're going to start with a little Throne of Glass. Now, Throne of Glass is not my first exposure to Sarah J. Maas. I read her other series, which is probably more popular. And I will say for the first book, I enjoyed this first book more than I did that other series. I really enjoyed Celaena as a character. I really enjoyed the world here more than I enjoyed the other world that we got in that other series. Now you can tell she wrote this originally when she was much younger. She was not quite the polished writer she is now. I will say for anybody that sees the words moss and thinks that it's like smut and stuff, there's none in the series. This is just pure fantasy. I really, although there's romance, but no smut here. I really enjoyed this series in the world, despite the fact that it relies on the training trope and relies on the contest trope a little bit in terms of plot, moving things along. But I just really like Celaena as a character. I found her dynamic and interesting, and I found the world around her interesting. Nehemia is a great character. I thought Kaltane, who was going to be kind of a one-bit character, actually they did something interesting with her. The big bads were foreboding and off in the background. The biggest weakness for me were the two boys. I know a lot of people love Dorian and Kale. At least in this book, we'll talk about how I feel about them later. But in this book, I got to the end, and my friend who'd read this with me was like, "Hey, so which are you, Team Dorian, you Team Kale?" And I was Team Neither. And we'll talk about how I feel good about that now. But I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 3.75 stars out of 5. It was an interesting new world and a really enjoyable. And if you haven't given Moss a try and you think she's just smut or something, really not the case. I found the series fun, even if it varies a little bit when you get deeper into the run. So, we'll catch you later.